The entire Genshin Impact community is buzzing. We're talking about version 6.4. And no, it's not a new Archon or a flashy harbinger that's stealing the spotlight. It's a name you might have heard whispered in the lore, but never actually seen. Lohen. The rumors are swirling that Lohen might be our next 5-star standard banner character. Now, I know what you're thinking. Standard banner. So is that a good thing? Well, the reaction from the community has been wild, and today I'm going to break down exactly who this guy is, why everyone is talking about him, and why this might actually be a massive win for the game's future. But before we begin, make sure to hit that subscribe button to get all the latest Genshin updates. Now, first things first. Who actually is Lohen? He's not just some random character made up for a leak. He is firmly planted in the world of Teyvat. If you remember the Archon quest Song of the Welkin Moon, Grand Master Varka, the legend himself, explicitly mentions Lohen. He describes him as the vice captain of the Knights of Favonius 5th Company. But here's the kicker. Varka actually said Lohen is tougher than he is. Let that sink in for a second. We've been waiting for Varka for years, and now we find out his right-hand man might be even more of a powerhouse. Right now, lore-wise, Lohen is part of that massive expedition team that's finally starting to head back to Mondstadt. This makes him narratively relevant, but he's been just off-screen enough to keep us all guessing. So, why are people saying he's going to the standard banner? To understand that, we have to look at how Genshin handles its characters.
You can actually save up to 25% on latest banners through Lootbar. Personally, I lost my 50/50 and I just bought the 6,480 Genesis Crystals pack for $76 instead of $100. That's an instant $24 saved. Not only the discount, but the top-up process couldn't be easier. I entered my UID, selected my server, and within 2 minutes, the crystals arrived in my account. Plus, the double bonus for first-time purchases has been refreshed with the anniversary, so you can take advantage of that too. With over 100,000 satisfied users with 5-star rating, it's really my go-to choice for both personal top-ups. And here's a bonus. New users get an extra 10% discount, while returning users can save up to 5%. You can find the link in the description below or in pinned comments, so don't miss out.
Usually, the characters on the standard banner are either foundational characters from the start of the game or characters that don't necessarily lead the main emotional arc of a region. Remember the Dea situation? That was a tough one for a lot of us. She was a huge part of the Sumeru story, and when she was moved to standard, it felt a bit strange to many players. Because of that, there was a huge fear that Varka would be the one sent to standard. But when the name Lohen popped up instead, the community basically exhaled a collective sigh of relief. Lohen is a vice captain. He's important and canon, but he hasn't been the face of the marketing yet. Putting a high-ranking knight like him on the standard banner actually fits the pattern we expect. It keeps the limited characters special while still giving us cool, lore-heavy units in the permanent pool. Now, let's get into the speculation. What kind of character would Lohen actually be? Looking at the standard banner right now, we have some gaps. We still don't have a Geo standard character, and surprisingly, Mondstadt, the land of beginnings, doesn't have a Dendro representative at all. Could Lohen be the one to fill those shoes? Role-wise, since he's a vice captain in charge of an expedition, I wouldn't expect him to be a selfish damage dealer. I'm thinking support, healer, or battlefield control. It would make total sense for his kit to focus on team sustain and keeping his troops alive in the field. Imagine a solid, reliable unit that isn't just power creeping the meta, but one that ages gracefully and fits into a dozen different teams. That is exactly what a standard character should be. At the end of the day, this conversation about Lohen is really about trust. Players are watching to see how the developers balance narrative importance with banner placement. If Lohen comes in version 6.4 as a solid, dependable unit that expands the world of Mondstadt without feeling like a missed opportunity for a limited banner, it could really restore a lot of faith in how the standard pool is updated. But we have to keep our expectations in check. Until we see that official splash art or trailer, this is all based on the patterns we've seen so far. Genshin has plenty of named characters that aren't playable yet, so we'll have to wait and see if Lohen actually makes the jump from dialogue to the battlefield. So, before we wrap up, I want to hear from you guys. If Lohen is our next standard character, what do you want to see? Do you want a geotank to finally round out the roster, or maybe a dendro support to give Mondstadt some new life? Drop your theories in the comments below. I read as many as I can. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the 6.4 rumors, make sure to hit that like as well as subscribe and ring the bell. We're going to be covering every update as we get closer to the patch. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!